Hello, 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 all of you beautiful nerds from around the world. I am Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. This is an edition of Fan Chats Live. We haven't actually done a Game of Thrones Fan Chats Live ever. Actually, that's not true. Maybe like a long time ago. But people had asked. We talked about it on certain videos. People wanted to do it. So I have to say a couple things right away. First of all, if this is your first time checking out these live streams, the first time you're on the channel, this might not be the video for you. This is long form. I'm going to talk about the episode a little bit, and then we're going to do Q&A with everybody here. It's really like more of a subscriber thing. Not that you won't enjoy it. I think you will. But might not be the video for you, so maybe come back for like an edited actual video. These are sort of live streams that we do, just hanging out, just us. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? I see you guys in the chat. So good to see you. Good morning. What did you guys think of that episode? Let me know right away in the chat. What did you think of the chat? Oh, we're going to get into the Gendry Arya scene, of course. Of course we're going to get there. But there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about before we get to that. And I'm sure that'll be interesting to talk about at the very least, okay? So, yeah, just let me know what you think. As you're coming in, guys, let me know what you think of the second episode in chat. I see some people saying it was awesome. Probably my favorite episode to date. That episode was amazing. Cool. Just keep that coming. Let me know what you think about the episode. I'm going to sort of talk about some of the major points, and then we'll get into Q&A. So, crazy opening with Jaime. And the episode, in a lot of ways, really is Jaime's episode. Most of the episode, I think, is dedicated to his relationships and his arc and tightening things up, not only with his brother, but of course with Brienne, with Daenerys, with Sansa, you know what I mean? And I thought the opening scene was so awesome. And the meme out there, and of course the thing that everyone is talking about is Bran. So Bran is just absolutely hilarious, continues to just be an absolutely hilarious character. The way they're using him this season, I think, is brilliant. And Bran just grilling Jaime, and drops the, the things we do for love line and all that kind of stuff. It's so crazy. Overall, it's a good scene because, of course, Brienne sort of reveals all this stuff about Jaime, this kind of honorable stuff about Jaime. It really, I think it hit Sansa, and Sophie Turner's doing such a great job acting in this season in particular. But one of the things that was really cool is for her character to hear that Jaime was keeping an oath to her mother to arm Brienne and send Brienne to go find her. I think, obviously that's pretty heavy stuff, and ultimately it earns Jaime his life. You know what I mean? Which was very cool. I also thought it was crazy, the scene with Daenerys, with Daenerys and Sophie Turner. That scene was very, very cool. It's interesting in a couple of different ways. I mean, they're just great characters, and Sansa at this point is like really like hard edge, really like looking at everything like a game, right? And she's just really finally in her element. So it was really interesting to see her and Danny, have that kind of conversation. And then for Daenerys, of course, to just fully admit her love for Jon, and to fully admit that is exactly why she's there, and that it's not necessarily her manipulating him. They really do love each other. I thought that was really, really cool because it's honest, right? And I didn't think she would do that. Like, I thought Danny was just going to approach it from like a power perspective. But what's interesting is that she kind of approaches it as, this is the sister of the dude that I love. She kind of wants to be cool with Sansa a little bit. You know what I mean? But then Sansa's like, what about the North? And then pull back. So really, really cool scene. The middle of the episode's amazing as well. Like, I thought the whole idea that they're all just going to die, and that's like lingering over the episode, and that everybody just thinks that it's going to be their last night on Earth. Really, really interesting stuff, right? So that whole thing, that was really, really cool. And I thought Torrent had an incredible just scene, and just we learned so much about that character, and the character's just so like bombastic and hilarious. You know what I mean? Yeah, we get Podrick. We get a lot of like closure for like that side of the story that we've been paying attention to for, years and years and years. So pretty cool stuff. Brienne gets knighted, you know what I mean, which is a big deal for her. I thought that was a good scene. And then they cut to like Torrent and he's just so pumped about it, about her being knighted. I just thought it was hilarious. It was really, really cool. Yeah, the war meeting's really cool, and I'm glad you said that in chat, Barbara. But here's the thing about that, though. I almost feel like nothing that they planned is going to happen. That like the best laid plans, right? Like everything they're talking about, everything that they want to accomplish is just not going to happen. And I'd prefer it that way too, because it's a cool strategy. But I wasn't in my mind seeing it all play out like that. I was like, okay, no, I think the dragon's just gonna come in. That it's gonna be nuts. Everything's just gonna breach the wall, and they're just gonna be fighting inside. And then, of course, we get to the Maisie Williams sex scene, which I guess we'll talk about now for a little bit. So, the thing about this is, I haven't really looked very much online to see like what people think or what the discussions are about it or whatever. For me, I'm just speaking personally for me. It was a little strange. It was a little off-putting. Like I know, and the people that I was watching it with, a lot of these people were trying to explain to me that it's okay. They were like, you shouldn't be bothered by it. Like Maisie's like 22 in real life, right? Or whatever. And I think the characters, what people were trying to explain to me is that the characters in that world are pretty close to each other's age, is what people were saying to me. I was like, that's fine. But yeah, to me, she just seems too, and nothing against Maisie, you know what I mean? I think she's awesome, but she just has a figure and like a face and everything. She looks really young. You know what I mean? She just looks young, like too young. And they don't really show much of anything either, but I don't know how people are feeling about it, and I want to, and I do want to hear. Yeah, she looks 13. I just want to hear what people think about it as well. You know what I mean? What did people? Yeah, that's what Across the Stars. I heard about that. Yeah, so yeah. So the question is, what did you guys think about that? I want to try to get a metric for that. How did you feel about the scene? Once I got sort of over my feelings about it, and honestly, it was tasteful as far as Thrones goes. It was tasteful, and it did feel like an extension of the characters and their motivations and whatnot. So once I got over that, I was like, okay, well, I feel good for Arya. You know what I mean? Girls getting it in before the inevitable end that she might face. So good for her, good for the character. But I still couldn't help but feel like a little weirded out by it. So that is me. Yeah, some people are agreeing. It wasn't that bad. Help built the character. 12 Nest says. Across the Stars says uncomfortable. Would have been fine with just a kiss. HBO had to say the character was 18 and remind people that she's well over 18. It's weird because I watched her grow up. Yeah. So, Jenny Reed, that's a really good point. So, like, part of this is we've seen her as, like, a baby. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the pictures of her from, like, season 1 and stuff. It's just a little weird. You know, we've grown up with her. I do know that, like, I don't know. I've heard some people tell me that, like, she wanted to do it and that she wanted to express that for the character or something. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Either way, Thrones has a great way of always having, like, some underlying controversy. You know what I mean? It's always popping up. It's like, did they push the line here? Did they push the line there? You know what I mean? Should they stop doing these kind of scenes and whatnot? And frankly, like, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's true to the nature of the show. They're always sort of pushing. And I think Dan and Dave are always sort of pushing. You know what I mean? They're trying to push the envelope. So I didn't mind it as much. Oh, Paige Roberts says yes, they gave her a choice. Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then obviously we got to respect her choice. Then the end of the episode, just moving right along. Guys, the end of the episode was insane. The scene with Danny and Jon, and I think this is like it's just so bizarre to me that we're moving at this kind of a pace. Do you know what I mean? But we really are moving at this kind of a pace. Like it's kind of crazy. So we're going from one episode at the end where Jon learns the earth-shattering truth about his heritage. You know what I'm saying? He's Aegon Targaryen. That's crazy. And I thought they handled that scene really well. It was really cool. I watched it again. I've watched it several times. Like Kit does a great job with that. The performance is there. Like, you just buy it, and you're like, oh, shit. And, like, a lot of stuff's going through his head all at once, right? So that was sort of repeated at the end of this episode. They're down in the crypts, and I see like Daenerys walking towards Jon, and I'm like sitting there. I'm like, oh, tell her. Like I was like, you got to tell her. I was tell her. You know what I mean? You know how you say that to the TV, right? And then he shoots her that look, and I was like, oh snap. He is gonna tell her. Like that look just said it all. I just loved the way that it played out. And her reaction to it was perfect too. Like just the way you read it in her face, everything. It was crazy. I'm so glad that they dropped that bomb. And what's really important about it is they've spent a lot of time in the first 2 episodes reaffirming the actual love that these 2 characters have for each other. And despite all the weirdness of it and the way that it's, kind of a problem now, so to speak, it's real and genuine. And I think that it's really important to juxtapose their feelings for each other, against the reality of the situation for Jon. Now, again, what's really cool, so in the first episode, and even in the preview, the sort of pre-credit thing that they roll for each episode, they showed the part where Davos says that for like once, what if for once in the history of the 7 Kingdoms, instead of being like us, everything sucking and being terrible, what if the 7 Kingdoms was actually ruled by a good man and a good woman? You know what I mean? And the thing is, of course, that's what we want as fans. But I think the fact that they're saying it so much and the fact that it's right there in our face kind of also means that is not what we are going to get. I don't think that's what we're going to get at all. And Danny doesn't seem to I don't think she's going to just give up her, you know what I mean? It's interesting because we get her reaction, her raw reaction to it. We don't get it. She hasn't really thought about it at all. So if they survive the next episode, which is a whole nother thing we're talking about in just a second here. If they survive the episode, then perhaps she'll have some time to like sort of reflect on it and think about it, But I also thought that was brilliant. So you move from this big reveal to this thing that's earth-shattering, this crazy thing for all these characters, but there's really no time to talk about it, to figure it out, because the dead are here. And episode 3, Miguel Sapochniv, the battle for Winterfell, it's going to tear our hearts apart. So the thing that's cool about these first 2 episodes, the reason I think they work so well, is that they're all going to die, basically. So we're going to experience a lot of loss in episode 3, and even ultimately, if our heroes win and defeat and beat back the army of the dead, I still think significant losses are going to happen. I mean, we've heard about this episode. They shot it for like 60 days. I've heard they just added 20 more minutes to this episode, so we're going to get even more in episode 3. This is their big finale, their big thing, and we've been reminded and sort of had a lot of stuff wrapped up for us in these last 2 episodes, and now it's going to all fall down. Everybody's going to basically die, I think, which I think is awesome. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about the episode as far as for my breakdown. Now, let's just get into some Q&A, guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Let's have some conversations, check some stuff out. Of course, I will answer every single super chat that comes in. Super chats help me out. They help the channel out. If you got some loot, if you got no loot, don't worry about it. Just drop your question in. I'll get to as many questions through the chat as I can. And also, I'd prefer not to take any Avengers questions, to be honest. I know Endgame's right around the corner, and we've been talking a lot about that Endgame. But just for spoilers' sake, I'd rather not talk about Endgame. Let's keep it to the Thrones if we can. Is Jon going to embrace his name? Jenny Reed. So I was not sure about that until last night. Kind of seems like he said, my real name is Aegon Targaryen. It kind of seems like he's down. So by the way, I think that's awesome. I actually didn't see that coming. I thought Jon would be like, I'm Jon. I've always been Jon. I'm Jon. No, he's Aegon Targaryen. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, right? It was super cool. I'm glad that he's gonna do it. I want to see like, and the thing is, this is what kind of sucks though, because now we're all like fan fictioning about like what could happen if he was actually on the Iron Throne, all these things, and that's why I think it's gonna. They're not even gonna give us that. They're all gonna die. Have you seen the film theory video on who will end up sitting on the throne? I think for the first time he's right. No, I have not. Across the Stars, I have not seen that. Yeah, if you could smash that like button, guys, that would be awesome. Thank you. That helps the chat out. Just take 2 seconds and smash that like. I hope Ghost and Nymeria come back. Well, Ghost was in the episode, but yeah. Kenneth Cologne in the building. What's up, Ken? Is Little Sam who the Night King is after? I don't think so, but maybe. I think they want to go to where they were created. I mean, that's what the spirals are. The gods would. That's what I think that is. Relentless Nation coming in with a super chat. Thank you. What if Night King goes straight to King's Landing? Yeah, okay. So this is a kind of theory that people have that's kind of cool. So right now, what's crazy is the whole plan is predicated on the Night King attacking Winterfell. They're going to use Bran because they think that he's coming for Bran. And it was sort of explained that, he's got the mark on him and he always comes for him. Pretty cool. And so they're going to use Bran as bait, and then their plan is to kill the Night King, therefore eliminating the army of the dead just automatically, right? Kill the main boss, and all the ads go away. So what if the Night King is like, nah, bro, and just takes the dragon to King's Landing? The whole army of the dead crushes down, and then the Night King flies to King's Landing and just devastates it and takes it. It sort of then has this two-prong attack where he kills everybody in King's Landing, raises them all. It's like millions of people, and then that army comes up, and then they just sandwich everybody in between. So what if? Heck yeah, what if? That would be dope. I'd be all for it. I don't know if that's going to happen, though. Constable Wiggleworth says seeing Arya strip was a bit weird. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. It was a little bit weird. I mean, from my perspective, and the thing is, I would like to know what everybody else thinks for sure. But for me, I'm like, yes, a little young. If the Night King goes to King's Land, that would be super epic and fits Danny's vision. Yeah, that's another thing that people say, that it would fit Danny's vision for sure. Do I think we're going to see more story? You mean for the Night King? Yeah, sort of. I mean, so I think that they want to reveal his motivations. I mean, they've sort of revealed it. He just wants, in the show, he just wants endless winter. He just wants to kill everything and erase people from memory, okay? Now, that actually seems a little un-George. So George does not write villains like that. He doesn't write people that are just all villains. And one would think, and this is something that the fan community talks a lot about, is that one would think that a big enemy like that for George would not just be evil, that perhaps there would be some motivation there that's not completely nefarious. There's some good even maybe in them or something. So that's what you would think for a villain in a George story. But who knows? The show might just literally just make him into just bad, big bad, the devil, evil, just... Maybe that's a little easier to deal with. So maybe in the books they explain it a little bit more, but as far as the show, maybe not. So many people are about to die. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Robert Pearson, I hear your question. Are you talking about Sam? Excuse my spelling, but the name is Tyrion. Oh, okay. So you think Tyrion is telling the Game of Thrones, the story, or the Song of Ice and Fire? Maybe. I mean, Sam's kind of working on, or he talks about writing a book, so a lot of people think it's Sam. Is it shaking? Oh, no, Trev, you're just saying what's shaking. I'm like, is my camera shaking? What's up, man? Doing a little Q&A about the Thrones. Sam is the narrator. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that. Gendry will end up on the throne, huh? Maybe. Yeah, the first scene was Ella. I totally agree. The first scene was rocking. What do I think of Arya and Gendry? Okay, so we sort of talked about this a little bit. I mean, I'll just tell you again from my perspective, and I totally see why people just coming in the chat would want to know because it's on the thumbnail. It's like everybody's talking about it. I thought it was a little weird, but like we've gone into sort of all the different aspects of it. I mean, it's just my baseline perception of it was that it was a little bit weird just because she looks so young. You know what I mean? Daisy's a young woman. That's her body type. Totally not. Obviously, there's totally nothing wrong with that. Like she's cute. You know what I mean? Not my type, but like if that was someone's type, it's totally cool. You know what I mean? I'm like total foot in my mouth. My whole thing is like she's cool. She's a young woman. It freaked me out a little bit, but that's just my perception. She was apparently given the choice. She wanted to do it. It's good for the character. It makes a lot of sense. It's growth. I mean, like, dude, as a person that just likes Arya, like, yeah, get it, girl. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's about to die. Get it. But that's after I sort of let my own natural biases sort of fade away, I guess. Bran doesn't like Danny. That's why he waited for Sam to get the news about his brother and father before telling Jon who he is. He wants Sam to drive a wedge between Jon and Danny. Yeah, Crispy Pickles. That's an interesting point. So it's very possible that Bran, I think Bran's actually doing a lot, sort of playing a lot of strings and really trying to get a series of things to happen. And so one of them might be to have a wedge driven in between Danny and Jon. I think ultimately, like the way they approached it and the way Bran approached it was like Jon has to know that he's the king because he, as king, needs to confront Daenerys about it. Like that, they can't. It's not going to work if they all try to have a meeting about it together. Do you know what I mean? Like he needs to hear it from her, and perhaps Bran knows that that's the best way to do it. Bran said the Night King is after him because he is the memory of Westeros, and he wants to destroy the memory, the world of men. Yeah, for sure. But see, that's the thing. The thing that's interesting about that, Zachary, is that he is a man, though, or at least he was at one time. The Night King was a human. He was a man. He was created by the Children of the Forest to destroy man as sort of that's his like weaponized. That's what he does, like his programming. But at the end of the day, what's up, Wars Dude? Yeah, about 10 views. Trust me, I know. We're low in here too. It's just the way that it goes. Yeah, it's just weird that like if he was a man and just created, why then did the Children of the Forest start to fear him? Why does he kill the Children of the Forest? It seems as though he's hell-bent on getting to the Godswood. That's what the spiral is. So to say that he just wants to erase the memory, and maybe that's why he wants to kill Bran. Maybe that's why he wants to kill the Three-Eyed Raven. I could see that. But ultimately, that's not what's driving him, I don't think. I think the reason he wants to go to the Godwood is to either undo his thing or to do something different to like give them everlasting life or something. I don't know. I think that's what it is. That he wants to go there. Wayne White, what's up, man? Do not watch Game of Thrones. Thought I'd come give you some YouTube love. Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it, brother. Game of Thrones is dope too. You should check it out. The Night King is Hagar. Some people say the Night King could be Rhaegar. Is that what you mean? He wants to be put back in the crypts of Winterfell, Trev says. Yeah, or there's theories that that he wants to free the Night's King or the Night's Queen from the crypts of Winterfell. That there could be other White Walkers underneath the crypts of Winterfell, and that the Starks have this strong connection to them. Team Night King? I don't know if I'm Team Night King, but I'm definitely Team, like, give me some brutality. I want absolute craziness in this next battle. A writer on Game of Thrones confirmed that the spirals, like the ones in the last Hearth, are just a callback to spite the children of the forest from the stone spiral where he was created. Yeah, that's the God's Wood, where they were created. But a lot of people think that beyond just trying to spite them, that he's trying to get there, that it's all just a message, because they think there's actually more children of the forest there, and those children are watching everything. They're sort of warging and using green sight, just like Bran. And Bran's a special, he's especially powerful, but like they are watching everything. So the Night King continuously is doing that to just warn or not warn, but like intimidate rather, the children of the forest that are at the Godswood. It's like, yo, I'm coming for you, you mofos. You are not safe over there. What if every character dies next week and we're all just left with Cersei? That would be amazing. That would be terrible and amazing. Yeah, I don't know, man. When I honestly think about how many people are going to die, I think it's like a lot. I think this is the end for a lot of people. And I hope they get really good send-offs, you know what I mean? I really do. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to die. A gut punch, yep. Who lives and dies this week? Brienne dies? Yeah. Man, it's hard to say. So weirdly, let's talk about who we think has plot armor. Who do you guys think has plot armor? I kind of think Jon Snow has plot armor. I think Bran has plot armor. I think Arya could die. I think Sansa could die. I think Danny could die. I think Podrick, Gendry. I think almost every secondary character, the Hound. I think almost every secondary character is on the chopping block. And they'll just progressively, like, what's funny, well, it's not funny, but, like, this is what I think is going to happen. So in the same way that they pace, no, I think Jaime's safe. I think, yeah, I think, George, you're saying that you think he's got plot armor. I think Jaime has plot armor as well. Where are the Knights of the Vale? That's a good question, actually. And Sam, yeah, Sam has plot armor, too. But other than that, I think that literally everybody could die. And they're going to sort of ping-pong around it. In the same way in the first two episodes, we sort of went from scene to scene to scene, wrapping stuff up, hitting all our major points, a lot of resolution. Now we're going to get a lot of tragedy with, like, all these characters, like just death after death after death. This guy's dying over here, this guy's dying over here, and we're all just like, oh, no, I can't believe it. Just kind of moving from one to the other. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. The Hound isn't going to die, you think, huh? The Hound has to fight the Mountain. I don't know if we're getting Clegane Bowl. I don't know if that's happening. Ella, the next episode is longer than an hour, and I think it's even longer now. Somebody told me last week that they're actually adding like 20 minutes to it, and it was already like 80 minutes, I think. Did you see Brienne screaming, "Hold your ground"? That's going to be a death for sure. I did not see her screaming that. Is that on like the end cap preview thing? Oh, snap. Anthony says, what if Clegane Bowl is Walker Hound versus Zombie Mountain? Woo! That would be dope. That would be really, really dope, I gotta say. 90 minutes? Yeah, maybe it's 90 minutes. So is Arya and Gendry's baby going to be a bastard? Yeah, they're not married. If they have a baby. And they all don't just die. The Night King can't be Rhaegar, you say? Well, some people have a theory that in a way that it could be. I don't think it is. Can the mountain be turned by the Night King? I don't know, actually. It depends on the magic, how strong the magic is. You know what I mean? Not quite sure about that one. What do you guys think is going to happen with the dragons? Are the dragon? Because somebody had said something about how Viserion was going to have memories. He was cognitive. He was going to be able to know, like he wasn't just going to fight his brothers. What do you think about that? Are we getting all the dragons dying? Or is it over for the dragons? Is Jon going to be the only one with a dragon after this? Is he after Lyanna and the harp in her crypt? Could be. Jaqen H'ghar? Yeah, that would be cool to see Jaqen again. Blue dragon fire, Cersei green wildfire. That would look amazing on screen. Yeah, that would. I think they're all going to die, and I hate it. Yo, what's up, Marvel Bros? Yeah, dude, the next few weeks are going to be awesome. Thoughts on Dragonglass and its ability to be reforged and shaped? I mean, it looks like they're doing it. It's cool that they gave that task to Gendry. Gendry's a big part of how they'll even have a chance. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. I think every dragon dies and every White Walker dies perfectly balanced, how all things should be. And you know what, too? I know we're not talking about Endgame in here, but man, I'm so excited for not only the film, but to be able to then talk to you guys about the movie again. Because I know we've sort of shut things down a little bit because of spoilers and stuff. And we've just been slower, quieter online about it. And I know people aren't watching as much stuff about it because of the spoilers. So once we get past that, man, I can't wait. Can't wait. Just talk me some Endgame. If the Night King isn't at Winterfell, then he can't raise any of the dead soldiers. True. Very true. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's good as far as if I was a writer, I could be like, okay, that would be good. Give them maybe even a chance at Winterfell. You know what I mean? Seem to be a lot more White Walkers. 103 hours and 14 minutes. We're very close. Yeah, I thought the Whites could raise them as well, actually. Thank you, Mark Chandler. Appreciate it. Yep, totally get it. Totally get it. Too little of Ghost. Literally too little of Ghost. Like, not only too little of screen time, but he's too small on screen. Ghost should be like the size of a small house. And I was hoping they were going to do that. Jon versus Night King, who do you think wins? I don't know, but I really want to see that. You know what I mean? Like, that I think would be dope. I mean, Jon, they've sort of built Jon up as almost... I mean, he's just such a good swordsman. I have to think, like, in my head, who's better with the blade, though? Is it Arya or Jon? I kind of think it's Arya. Like, they kind of just gave her, like, Jedi abilities. But then again, Jon is, like, so good. He's been basically whooping people with his sword since season 1. So, I don't know. Who do you guys think is the best swordsman on Game of Thrones? Because it might have been Jaime before he lost his hand. They say that Jon is, like, the best. Remember when Ramsay said that? He's like, oh, bastard, I've heard of you. They say you're the best swordsman the North has ever seen, or something like that. Yeah, Ghost is big. I mean, he's a direwolf, and they just keep going. Oh, yeah, Brienne. How dare I forget about Brienne of Tarth? Why don't they just melt down Dragonglass and spray it all over the battlefield? Instant win. I don't know if that would be an instant win. Couldn't the Night King just put ice over it? People are saying, Jon, can you do the whole live stream in your British accent? Nah. Arya is definitely better than Jon. I think Arya, Brienne, and the Hound and Jon are all tied. Arya has different fighting styles, so that's hard to say. Yeah. So I guess what I would say is all of them against any other people, excluding each other, they're probably all on an equal playing field, meaning they're just going to mess everybody up. But if they all were forced to fight each other, I think Arya comes out on top just because her style's really weird and elusive. But, I mean, you know, they're all really good. Yeah, Bronn is really good too, but Bronn is like... shady. Barrack's probably pretty good. You're right. Does Dragonglass take out the Night King? Big E Stan. Maybe, or maybe it's that Valyrian blade, man. Maybe it's Jon's, or should I say Aegon's sword. So what if the Night King kills Danny, turns her, and then she can control the dragons because she's turned, and Jon is forced to kill her, and he stabs her through the heart, and then pulls Lightbringer out, and it's like, the sword just goes on fire, and Jon just becomes Azor Ahai. What do you guys think about that? Would that be dope, or would that be like too much? The Night King is gender fluid, and he fancies Bran? Maybe. Constable Wigworth, I totally agree. Brass knuckles, but with dragonglass? Absolutely. What if they go to kill the Night King and the dragonglass, and Valyrian steel doesn't work either? Yeah, I mean, so maybe the Night King himself isn't as susceptible to all that stuff as, like, his minions. That would be kind of cool. And they just have to sort of beat him with either magic or brute force. I think Tyrion knows something we don't. He had that long talk with Bran off screen. Yeah, he did. But who knows? You know what I mean? Like, we'll just have to see what happens after, if they survive. He kills a White Walker, yeah, with it at Hardhome, but he doesn't necessarily. I mean, we don't know. The Night King could be different. Where are the Dothraki riders? I mean, they just weren't shown. It's not. They're like not in the castle. I think. They probably set up camp. I mean, there's a ton of them. What are they? Like 40,000 of them or something like that. So they're not going to be in the castle. They're going to set up a camp, a Dothraki camp with their like weird little tents and stuff. Arya running in the crypt is running from someone she loves who is a white now. Yeah, maybe. Ugh. It's weird that there was zero discussion at the war table about the ice dragon. Yeah, that's true. What's up, Fernando? Yeah, the Dothraki don't have winter clothes, but they're tough dudes. They'll be alright. How do the Dothraki even survive in Westeros? Wouldn't you think that'd be exposed to a shit ton of different diseases? Or am I thinking too much? I mean, yeah, probably just wouldn't overthink that. I think Bran has to sacrifice himself to get into the mind of the Night King to slow him down. Maybe. I know there's a lot of Bran Night King theories out there. So we shall see, won't we? We shall see. Guys, I'm going to go for like 15 more minutes. I'm thinking about doing some more like actual Game of Thrones videos as well. But honestly, I'm just like behind, and there's a lot of Marvel stuff to be talking about, and there's a lot of Star Wars stuff to be talking about. So I think we're going to do at least fan chat lives. Ken goes live on Instagram after the episodes air on Sunday nights, so check out the gram if you want to like right away get our thoughts about it. And Ken does a great job breaking that stuff down. And I think we're going to start doing fan chat lives just the following morning. So like Monday morning, we'll hang out and talk about each episode. So if you're into that, come on back. See you later, Barbara. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. Now, he said specifically that the Night King is going after him. It seems like he's going to try to close this time loop. Yeah, the little girl wanted to fight with the soup. I thought was cool. Hugh Ennis says the crypt is not as safe as everyone seems to think. Do you know something we don't, Hugh? No spoilers, man. I think the White Walkers take over Winterfell and raise all the Starks. Ugh, yeah, might happen. Bran must have a different plan that he's not telling everyone. I think that could be true. Do I think there'll be a time jump after the battle? Maybe we'll see a couple of days pass in the following episode, or maybe a day or two has passed. But yeah, some time will pass. Can Bran get inside a dragon's mind? I don't know. Maybe, and that would be dope. That would be really cool if they did that. I'd love to see him warg into the ice dragon, take over the ice dragon. That would be incredible. I'll use it to guard the realms of men. Yeah, dude. Didn't they mention that Winterfell was secret tunnels leading to other houses? I mean, there's secret tunnels out of Winterfell for sure, but I don't know if they lead all the way to other houses or kingdoms. You know what I mean? Or, nah. Before the episode ended, we didn't see the Night King with them. Why? Yeah, it's interesting. Some people think he's in King's Landing with his dragon, and he's going to mess up King's Landing, kill Cersei, kill everyone, and raise all of them there. Eddie White asks about Bran warging into Nymeria and bringing in the Dire Wolf super pack. That would be crazy cool. I just don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah, who knows? Maybe the survivors do make it to the Iron Islands and just try to wait out the zombie apocalypse on the Iron Islands. Wouldn't that be crazy? Are we going to get flashbacks of older Ned Stark? Not really sure. I haven't really heard. I haven't been following like the production at all. I don't know if he's credited in any episodes, if he shot anything, or if they're just using the old footage. What if the White Walkers just take a boat to the Iron Islands? Yeah, they could, but wouldn't you say that the Ironborn would just beat them in a sea battle? Dario Naharis or Jack and Hagar play a big role? I don't know, man. I kind of think maybe not. Maybe not. We got plenty of characters right now, and we're wrapping stuff up pretty quick. Yeah, let me know in chat, guys. What do you think about Danny and Jon riding both dragons into battle? I mean, do you think for sure we're getting that? And also, too, and this is just like my thoughts about this. This is crazy because... So we're going to get the High Valyrian spinoff with like the dragons, and it's just going to be way more dragons and stuff. And now we're finally in a point in the show where we're seeing these characters ride these dragons, where we might actually see mounted dragon combat with 3 different people in this next episode. It could happen. And I'm so excited to see, because the technology is there now, and it's easier for them to do it. So I really want to see what that looks like in the Valyrian show. So I'm like starting to get really excited for that. Yeah, she's pissed. Sebastian B, she's probably pissed. She's shocked. She's hurt. She's confused. You know? Tormund is the best for comic relief. Yeah, I thought his scenes were ridiculous, but awesome. So. Reminds me of Aragon. Totally, dude. I love the Aragon. I love the inheritance cycle. That movie is awful, but those books are really good. Yeah, Brandon Thomas says, damn, wonder how they'll have the dragons fighting each other. I imagine that they'll be like flying mad dogs, attacking each other, trying to get their necks. Yeah, so I bet they'll be flying around a lot, shooting flames at each other, avoiding it, and then they'll probably clash. And they probably, as they're clashed, like try to bite each other, claw each other with their back claws. And their riders probably try to, with their weapons, attack the other dragon and the other rider. So I'd love to see some crazy stuff like that. That'd be really cool. There was a little nod between Danny and Jon towards the end of the episode that seems like it was kind of, yep, let's saddle up kind of moment. Yeah, I would. Oh, man, I really hope so. Really hope so. I'm starting to get pretty hyped, guys. This is a crazy week, guys. We got Endgame, and then we got the biggest, craziest battle in the history of Game of Thrones on Sunday. Do you think Game of Thrones creatives will do a good job on Star Wars The Old Republic? I'm damn well convinced that they will. I'm not a huge book guy when it comes to Thrones. which is why I don't like cover a lot of the stuff on the channel. Love the lore though, but just not a book guy, right? But as just someone that likes the TV show, like I think they've done great, and I think especially in the last couple seasons, I know some people don't like last season because it's like streamlined. I thought it was great. It's great television, hits all the character moments, moves at a quick clip, gives us entertainment, crazy stuff all the time. So yeah, I really do think they're going to nail it in the Old Republic, and I'm so excited for that. About Arya and Gendry. Okay, so I guess look, and I get it. People just come in at different times. Let's go over the Arya and Gendry thing again. So, I'll just say again, my perspective on it was that it was a little bit weird. It threw me off a little bit because she looks so young. The other side of that is, of course, they gave her a choice. She wanted to do it. She is 21, 22 years old. She's a young woman. If she wants to do that and express, her sexuality and stuff, totally cool. And also, just as a fan of the character, good for her. Getting it in before the end. I think that's cool. Makes sense. And so as a fan of that Arya character, I was like, yeah, that's cool. Makes sense. Good for her. But I will not lie. It did weird me out a little bit. Yeah, Queen says a lot of people have been uncomfortable with it because they've been watching her since she was a child on the show. Totally agree with that. Daenerys and Cersei aren't pregnant, but what if Arya is? How do we know that Cersei and Daenerys are not pregnant? I think Daenerys is for sure. They're going to reveal that maybe if they survive. Danny is not likable this season. Danny should never have been super likable, I think. I think one of the problems with that character is that they wrote her too likable. But they started to change that over time, and now like you see her flaws all there, and her arrogance and just the way she approaches things is super brash. She's got to be the dragon and all that. She's sort of become really Targaryen. But that's good. We don't want her to be flawless. It's good that you don't like her all completely. You know what I mean? Where's the Red Woman? I think the Red Woman's on her way back. Brandon Thomas, class in 5 minutes, but that's all I can think about. Well, hope you enjoy your class. All right, I'm going to go just a little bit longer, guys. Couple more questions, and we'll get out of here. I am going to do the episode of the Nerdy News Rundown. Got a lot of endgame stuff I want to talk about. They dropped some crazy TV spots yesterday and over the weekend. So going to do that. That will post later tonight, like late. Because I wanted to switch things. So for the next few Mondays, as Thrones is going on, we're going to do Q&As, fan chat lives every Monday morning after each episode and just hang out and do Q&A and talk about it. And then I'll do the show later in the day. So I'll do a couple more questions, and then we're out of here. Didn't she go get another like her from across the sea? Hopefully she got a couple, man. Get all them wizard ladies. All them red ladies, man. Do all the magic. Do you think that when the Battle of Winterfell is half done, Cersei will show up and there will be a 3-way battle then? Oh, that'd be brutal. Hope not. No, I see. There will be no break in the middle of Endgame. I think it is sort of hinted that Arya will die. I would not like it, but yeah. I think she might be on the chopping block. It's not that Cersei was straight chilling. It's just like the path to get to, and I know they're sort of thrown this logic out in the show and they don't even care anymore, but like realistically, it should take weeks, if not months, to get from King's Landing up to Winterfell. Yeah, I think Jaime's not going to die. Theon's probably dead. Yep, for Endgame spoilers too. Totally agree. That's why I want to do a little Game of Thrones chat with you guys. A little low key, very low % chance of Endgame spoilers coming in this chat. Yeah, I agree with that, Marvel Bros. Arya will probably die. She probably gone. I don't think they're trying to set Theon and Sansa up. They both survived that crazy asshole, man. They both survived the abuse of like a truly heinous evil person. And Theon did help her escape. Ramsay was just the worst. And they have that bond. That's all that was. Yeah, what is wrong with people trying to spoil Endgame? Bunch of butthoes. Thank you, Eddie. Theon and Sansa are definitely getting together? I don't know about that. All right, I'm going to do one more question, so I'm just going to pick a random one. Just a random one. We'll do one more. Trev, thanks for pointing out the obvious. And it hid your thing. Here, I'll show it. That's funny. YouTube's like, no, we don't want to show that. Sansa was looking hard-eyed? What? Really? I don't know about all that. I think she's just conveying just like happiness. Do I think Brienne will die in episode 3? I do. Yeah, I saw episode 2, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Okay, cool question. This will be the last one we take. Menelarius Cross. What do you think about the end of the series? Is it possible the Westeros is wiped out from the Army of the Dead and restarted again, something new? So yeah. So I think my favorite ending, my ideal ending for it is sort of like what I call the Mass Effect ending. So basically the Night King and everybody would basically kill and slaughter almost everybody. And he would leave a certain small group of people alive and sort of let them just rebuild. And the whole idea is that the Night King and the Whites and the White Walkers, they just stay in the land of always winter. They allow life to grow and to get to a certain point, and they sort of come in and like harvest it, like cut all the wheat down, the humans, cut us all down, take all the resources, take everything, all the bodies, all the people, go back up there and take what they want, and then allow it to just sort of rebuild again over time. That would be my favorite ending, but I don't know if that's the way they're going to go. So thank you so much for the question, and thank you guys for hanging out here on a Monday morning talking some Game of Thrones. We'll definitely be doing another one of these next Monday, and we'll have a lot of videos for you guys this week. The Endgame stuff's going to be crazy. So that Friday at noon, we're doing a spoiler fan chat live after I see Endgame twice on Thursday, okay? But then the following Monday at 7, we're doing a spoiler chat for Endgame as well. And so that Monday is going to be 2 live streams. In the morning, we're going to live stream about Thrones, and at night, we're going to live stream about Endgame. So next Monday is going to be a very heavy live stream day, so maybe I'll see you guys then, okay? Thank you guys so much for the support. Love you guys. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.